So I've been playing Skate now for around a year, and I've been part of the pre-alpha testing and the pre-alpha testing, and I've seen the game evolve over the past year to the point that it's at today that you may have seen in some YouTubers previews. Now, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to make this video at all. There's a very good chance that Skate will have this video taken down. I'm fully aware I'm in breach of my non-disclosure agreement by talking about the game. I did reach out to them to ask if I could talk about it, no reply. So I'm just going to make this video anyway, and yeah, fair enough, I'll get a copyright claim, but I don't really care. I've seen so much misinformation about this game that I feel, as someone that's actually bloody played the thing, I have a bit of a responsibility to talk about it. So the first thing that people have pointed out is that the characters have a really stylistic visual to them, and I can 100% agree. I don't like the look of that. To me, that screams Fortnite, that screams low poly. That's the one thing that I really don't like about the game. Well, actually, it's one of the two things I really don't like. The next thing is the game will be free to play, which of course means microtransactions. Now, the costs of microtransactions have changed throughout development. We've seen all sorts of different pricing structures going in, and I am fully against the live service model. I think we should buy a game and own a game, and that sucks. It genuinely does suck, and I feel like Skate taking the game in that direction is not something that anyone asked for, and the only person that really serves to benefit is EA and Skate. But that's the end of the bad stuff. The physics in this game are leaps and bounds above any other skateboarding game out there. You can forget Session. Session is one of those games which is really good from a skate simulator point of view, but it's not really as accessible as Skate. It's much harder to play than the Skate games, and to be honest, I find it a little bit jarring sometimes. It's a bit harder to complete the lines the way you want it to, and at the end of the day, Skate are trying to make a game that's accessible to many people. For me, one of the most important things when it comes to a skateboarding game is that I can just chill and play it and enjoy doing some lines, some tricks, and have a podcast on in the background and just enjoy the gameplay. But also the online element is something that I've been really excited for. Now, the one thing that Skate does really well is the physics and the feel of the game. There is a satisfaction you get from completing tricks, and the actual game engine itself, I can't fault it. I've seen many people talking about how they don't like the way a kickflip looked and all of this absolute bullshit. The physics, and I think anyone that's in the playtest that's played the game, the physics is probably one of the best parts of the game. And I don't mean it's just like a best out of a bad situation. It is bloody brilliant. So seeing people speak to the physics of the game when all they've seen is a video of someone playing it, and even then, it just doesn't seem like a fair criticism of the game to me. Now, there's been rumours circulating that only selective people have been allowed to play the game. If you're part of the EA playtesting forums, you'll see that there's literally thousands and thousands and thousands of people playtesting this game, and they have been for a year. Like, I'm playing it, half my friends are playing it, and to play it, all you had to do was sign up. I have not seen anyone yet get rejected for a playtest. In fact, I'm playtesting from 2 different accounts. One of them's a Cyberboy account, and you may say they chose me because I'm a YouTuber, but my other account is a complete burner account on my other PlayStation. They have no idea it's me. So people saying that they didn't have access to the game or that people were selectively being chosen is a complete load of shite. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the culture thing. So a lot of people are saying that it feels like a lot of the culture of skateboarding is missing in this. I've seen a few people make videos saying that there aren't real brands in the game, and I'm not sure where they're getting that from, because there most definitely is. There's all sorts of brands out there, like Vans is a good example. There's loads of really recognizable brands like Nike. I'm not sure why people are saying that all of that stuff is missing. Now, the problem there is maybe the microtransactions, and maybe that gatekeeps it to some extent. I can fully get behind that, and I do think that that could be a problem. I think this is a problem of the whole free-to-play model, and it's not something that any of us asked for, as I said earlier. But saying that none of the brands are in there is completely false. Now, when it comes to people talking about like the actual playability and the map, and the map feels empty, a lot of the footage that you've seen, in fact all of the footage that you've seen of this game, is from closed off lobbies given to like a select few YouTubers to do their videos for YouTube. In the actual playtest, there are tons of people in these lobbies, and it feels alive. It feels great. What you're actually seeing is a very closed off session where you're seeing like an empty world, because it is empty, because I've only got a couple of people that have been allowed to like preview that footage. But in the playtest, it's awesome. It's chaos, but it's beautiful chaos. It's amazing. And I've also seen some stupid arguments from people, some very, very, very stupid arguments, that having multiple people in one map means that you'll have to wait to do your turn on a handrail. Or no, there is no collision physics there in play. Like, you can go through other people. Them being in the map doesn't affect your playability. However, the one criticism that I don't think enough people are driving home deep enough is that it's always online, and that's not really something I really want to do. So a good example of this is during the playtest, obviously being a YouTuber, and when I play for my YouTube account, albeit I'm only a small channel, I'm not big, but because I've covered Skate on the channel before, there's a few people in the playtest that have like recognized my username, and I'm only a small creator, so it's not really an issue at all. But people will like send the messages, will send the emojis and stuff, and try and communicate with me quite a lot. And there is no way to turn that off. And that's quite frustrating, because sometimes I just want to be in the playtest and just skate. I just want to enjoy it. I just want to chill. I don't want to communicate with people. And it's not me being a knobhead. It's just that, you know, when I'm not filming, I'll go on to skate and just chill for a bit. So this whole online thing, having to constantly be connected, that is a problem. That is a genuine problem. And I think that they need to find a way just to, even if it's still online, but you're in your own server, your own lobby by yourself, and it can be you and like 3 of your friends just skating around. I would much prefer that to the current system they're using. And to be honest, I don't think that they'll have a problem implementing that. They could use the peer-to-peer system to make that work absolutely fine. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is obviously people are emphasizing on the skateboarding part of the game, and so they should. It's the whole point the game exists. But outside of skateboarding, there is other activities that we can do, and you know, we can traverse the map by climbing and doing all sorts of really cool stuff. And I think that's something that the skate games have missed. Like, if you see a spot you want to get to, you can't get to it before because you couldn't climb properly, you couldn't jump properly. They've added like a whole parkour system into the game, which just makes the game, it makes the map feel accessible, every single part of the map. So the last thing I want to touch on now is that there's been so much content criticizing the game from people who haven't played it. And of course, people are entitled to their opinions from the content they've seen, but I've seen videos out there with up to 250,000 views, or even in some cases up to 1 million views, which just contains information about the game which is entirely incorrect. I think it's fair to criticize the whole live service model and all of that shite, because for me personally, I feel it takes away from the gaming experience. But let's criticize the things that the game maybe hasn't done right and help them improve it, rather than just making up shit about the game, which just then causes more problems. Personally, as someone that has literally spent hundreds, if probably thousands at this point, of hours in the game, I'm really enjoying it. And yes, there's things I don't like. I don't like how grindy the game is. I don't like a lot of different things about the game, but it is fun. There is no getting away from the fact that for a free-to-play game that anyone can access, that comes with a list of drawbacks, but it's fun. Out of every free-to-play game I have ever seen, it is by far the best. Now, the problem with games is they're all opinion driven. This is just my opinion as someone that's played every single skate game since I was a kid. And as an evolution of the skate franchise, I don't think the 4th iteration of Skate does the rest of the franchise a disservice. Personally, I wish they went for more realistic graphics. I wish it wasn't free to play. I wish microtransactions were left out of it. I can understand why they're in it though. It's a bit of a juicy one, that topic. But as a game, it's brilliant. So that's my thoughts on it. No, I'm not sponsored by EA. No, I'm not paid by EA. Damn, I can't even get them to reply to me. But I don't think we need to work on benefit of the doubt here. I'm someone that's played it and someone that's enjoyed it. In fact, everyone I know in the playtest, we literally message each other like, yo, are we jumping on Skate? Like, it's a thing that we do. And I think that's the goal. It's a community driven thing. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.